Hello, friends. I hope you are doing well. Let's begin today's discussion. The most terrifying and mysterious place in the world is hidden in a corner of the Pacific Ocean, just east of the Philippines. What people know as the Mariana Trench. But this place is actually a bottomless, mysterious cave where descending means getting lost in the darkness. At a depth of about 11,000 meters, when not even a ray of sunlight can reach. Even if you go down there, it will feel like countless monsters are trying to crush your body from all around. Very few nations have dared to enter this abyss. But recently, one country has thrown all other calculations aside and jumped into the depths of this. Yes, China. They are no longer just doing research. They are sending robots to the depths of the ocean. They are planning to build permanent bases on the seabed. They are even desperate to claim the valuable minerals and resources that lie in the depths of the ocean for themselves. On the other hand, many Western countries, including the United States, have lost interest in ocean research. So the question arises, is there anything like this deep in the Mariana Trench? Which is why China is so desperate to build a robot base deep in the ocean. Let's find out about these today. Although there is a bright light above the sea, the familiar world changes rapidly as you descend. The water level is full of light and life up to about 200 meters, but then the reign of darkness begins. The lower you go, the more the light fades, and the water pressure increases terribly, as if an invisible hand is slowly squeezing you from all around. When you reach 1 kilometer below, the sunlight disappears completely, and from there begins a strange world, where animals light up their own bodies and search for prey. If you go further down, another new level begins, where some strange creatures, such as long-armed squid or bloated fish, survive in extreme pressure and darkness. The most surprising thing is that only twice have humans reached the bottom of the Challenger Deep and returned. The first time was in 1960. 2 brave men named Jacques Piccard and Don Worlds reached here. And the second time, in 2012, the famous filmmaker James Cameron dived. Then an explorer named Victor Vescovo tried to reach this deep place by diving several times. However, in 2020, China lowered 3 people to the terrible bottom of the Mariana Trench in a submarine named Fengdoze, and that created a new history. But the Chinese did not stop there. Instead, they started going down more aggressively and started building smaller submarines and autonomous robots deeper and deeper, so that before anyone knew it, they could have built an entire empire under the sea. In 2024, China sent a robot the size of a shoebox, which scanned the bottom on its own and returned safely. This incident proves that where previously it was necessary to send huge and expensive submarines, now it is possible to conduct operations on the entire bottom of the sea with these small robots. And so now China is building numerous autonomous robots that are each skilled in a different task. And together, they can cover the entire seabed at low cost and silently. Not only that, China is now planning a terrifyingly bold initiative, something that no other country has ever dared to think of. Because under this dark and oppressive sea, a priceless treasure is hidden. Natural resources and unspeakable secrets of science. Some places here seem to have been created in a completely different way, where a mysterious world has developed without sunlight. But among all the mysteries, methane hydrate is the most mysterious place in the world. It looks like ice, but it burns when it is ignited. This is called fire ice. Scientists think it can be the fuel of the future. But here's the fear. If there is too much movement in the lower layers when trying to extract gas from this frozen ice, the seafloor may collapse, or it may rush out all at once. A huge amount of methane gas can spread not only the ocean, but also the atmosphere. There are also those small stone-like things that have metals worth millions of rupees hidden inside them, called polymetal nodules. These are what make up modern batteries, electric cars, and the future of technology. In the coming century, the demand for these substances will increase so much that the countries that are lagging behind will fall even further behind. And so, many countries and large companies are already looking into the depths of this ocean, where the alternative energy of the future to petrol and oil is hidden beneath the darkness. Yes, this dark, deep sea of the world is now slowly turning into a fierce international competition arena. And now China is moving ahead in that game at a stormy pace. They are no longer just exploring. Rather, they have started building permanent bases and installing cutting-edge technology to keep the priceless resources of the sea under their control. It is not enough to just go down or gain access here. The real battle is who goes to how deep and how much skill and presence they are developing. Now it can be said that they are at the top of the battle to sit on the invisible throne of the deep sea. But it doesn't end here. The entire communication system of the modern world has been built under the bosom of this ocean. Millions of kilometers of submarine cables are spread across the bottom, the ones that power the internet, bank transactions, and even military information exchange. Although they look strong from the outside, these cables are actually very fragile. These important cables can be cut if they get caught in a snag or a trawler's net. The world's communication system could come to a standstill. And this is exactly where China has demonstrated a terrifying talent in 2025. A robot called the cable repairer that can go thousands of meters down and find cables. It can even cut those cables silently if it wants. Although there is no evidence yet that they have used them intentionally. But this possibility alone has shocked the world powers. Because if these deep cables fall into someone's control, then communication, trade, and security around the world will all be disrupted. That's why the deep sea is no longer just a place for research. It has become a battlefield for dominance. And who will win this war depends on today's decisions. Because the depths that people have been afraid of for so long are now becoming the key to the future. However, if someone alone takes the power, information, control, and wealth hidden in this depth into their own hands, then its value will not only be counted by one country, the entire human civilization will be counted. You and I, every person on this planet, no one will be spared from the responsibility of that mistake.